I'll show you.
Are you just warning people, or are you...
Yeah, I'm like, warning people, like whoever, whether they like hear or whether they forbear, like meaning like whoever the message is meant for, like they're going to like.
So there should be like what should Americans do if we can't help? Like if it's already written in the Bible that it's going to fall, then what can we do if it's going to fall?
I mean, what do you want us to do?
Wait.
What can we do?
I don't know, there's pretty much like nothing you can do. What you can do is like prepare for slavery and destruction.
Well.
So we can leave then, that's the only option.
Well, not like leave physically, like we're giving the elect of Israel and the 1/3 are going to be delivered like before the destruction takes place.
Okay, so there's no way
the elect are the only ones that are like going to make it out.
I can't believe it.
Alright, Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
One more time.
Jeremiah 28:8. The prophets that have been before me and before thee of old prophesied both against many countries and against great kingdoms, of war and of evil and of pestilence.
Okay, what's your country?
This is, would you consider this a great kingdom?
What is your country? Yes. America.
Well, that's why I'm here to prophesy against it. Like that's what the prophets before me have done.
We bitch about things, but God, we're the freest country in the world, and we believe in God. What do you believe in?
No, you don't. You don't follow any of His laws.
What's His laws?
How come you have
I don't steal.
All Testaments?
I got
Old and
You already stole.
I don't steal nothing.
You're on stolen property right now.
No, I'm not.
Yes, you are.
Oh, we stole it from the Native Americans.
Yeah, and like
The Gulch.
This town is
We
probably
took the
the
Gulch
most,
away.
I mean, what's the word I'm looking for? Yellow Springs, the village of Yellow Springs, and I don't live here, but this is probably the most livable. I'm from New Jersey, but I moved to Ohio because I started hanging out in this town.
Where did you live in Ohio?
I wanted to move. My Partisani isn't really.
Isaiah 33:1.
Just couldn't find it.
Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled, and dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. That's karma. That's like karma that the Hindus and like various other religions like talk about. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. So like the Most High is like looking for a recompense as far as like what was done in the past.
Gotcha. Okay. Yeah, indeed. We'll definitely head on over it. I'm realizing Asians also work inside of Bible.
Ecclesiastes 3:15. That which has been is now, and that which is to be hath already been. And the Most High requireth that which is past. So like whatever like happened in the past, like the Most High is like looking and He's going
I'm waiting for Chuck to get there. What's up, son?
and like the Most High like requires like what was done in the past, especially like what was done like to like the 12 tribes of Israel.
Needs a beer. You want a beer?
I know. Chill out and have a shot of tequila.
You shouldn't be low.
Oh yeah, yeah. Plus
Follow.
the Old Testament and the New Testament and you ever heard of the Apocrypha?
I have not. Can I?
Yeah, the Apocrypha. These were books that were like taken out of the Bible.
Right.
That's another.
I've heard
That's
a lot
another.
about that.
That's like another reason like why like the so-called white man is like gonna receive like judgment. Because like he took like
Not hard.
wait All right, here we go. Revelation 22 and 19. If any man shall take away from the words of the book of this prophecy, the Most High shall take away his part out of the book of life, and out of the holy city, and from the things which are written in this book. It's like that book like explains like what happened to like the 10 tribes, and because like in the book of Revelation it talks about like all 12 tribes like being sealed. It's like at a certain point like they don't like all the other tribes aren't like mentioned. Like if you only have like a Bible that doesn't have the Apocrypha in it.
Is it in that one? Or that's why you got
Oh
this?
no, yeah, that's
Okay.
yeah. Sometimes you can get them like both like combined. But yeah.
I'm gonna check that out.
But what you also want to do is like read the entire like the 28th chapter of Deuteronomy,
Right.
and that explains like all the verses 1 through 14 on the 28th chapter explains like all the blessings that we receive for obeying like God's commandments, and 15 through 68 explains like all the curses that would happen.
What's wrong with Asians though? Weren't they part of any tribe?
That's what I was just
Well,
about
because
to tell you
like
from the Facebook.
first of all like they weren't chosen, and they also like all the other like nations, all the other nations at some point like dealt treacherously like with us at some point in history, and they also like rule over. They pretty much like rule over us, and like in this kingdom like they have it like easy. They already have like their consolation.
Okay.
Like if you go to like in the neighborhood I grew up, I lived in Cleveland for a while, there'd be nothing but like so-called like Chinese and so-called like Arab like restaurants and everything. But every time like a so-called like black man would try to open up a restaurant, my dad would be like, hey, let's check out this new soul food restaurant that just closed. You know what I mean?
So,
And those are some of the curses. Though.
what makes the Seminoles so special? Like, why do they get their own tribe, but you have Native Americans on top of that? But are they not the same tribe?
Oh no.
So they're not the same people. They're completely different. They're not even Native American. They're Seminole.
Yeah, they're like the of like the same like offspring.
Did
Well, I
you
mean,
hear the
these
thing,
are all
like,
related.
Yeah.
Right. So
Yeah, they only it was prophesied that they would like look like the other nations a little bit as well.
well, yeah. If you go through all of these, most of them did.
Yeah.
Huh. And even just the
It's like
island of
sometimes
Puerto
like I
Rico,
explained
because there's like the West Indies.
so I've seen some like Seminoles that look I thought they were like something like black people. I didn't know that like they didn't look like Native American at all.
How did why did Levi and Simeon they split an island in half? Like the Haitians and the Dominicans are on the same island.
Yeah.
They just split it in half. Is that why? Because it's like a really old biblical thing that they.
Oh,
that's
yeah.
why they couldn't.
Let's see. All right, let's see. Here's a.
And then just Mexico. I mean that's. Wow.
Oh, let's see. See, this is Genesis 49 and 5.
A lot of Mexicans.
Oh, see, Simeon and Levi are brethren. Instruments of cruelty are in their habitation. I was talking about like that voodoo and like all the witchcraft and all that.
Right. But that was brought over by people from Judah. I mean, that's just West African culture. That they.
Yeah, but and that's also like one of the reasons like why they were like being like punished like by the Most High.
I find that fascinating. I mean,
So there's also
before
there's
people got
there's
to the
also
West
Israelites
Indies, I mean, they
that are
were
still on
a
like
tribe.
in like West Africa, in places like Ghana, like Nigeria.
Nigeria. I know a bunch of people from Ghana.
Yeah, me too. I haven't been though. I've been to Kenya.
Nigeria is where the nice people come from. I mean, Ghana. And then Nigeria
Yeah, I
is
was
where the
going
criminals send you like fucked up checks from.
Well, they're the richest nation in Africa at the moment, so.
I got 2 checks sitting on this table. My girlfriend tried to do these internet jobs for like 4 or 5 different people. When we
Oh, she
first
fell
moved
for
out
that
here.
shit.
I mean,
No,
they were
falling
really
for it.
convincing.
If she tried-
So I
about,
heard
like,
I heard about like scam.
She didn't cash it. We didn't even have a bank account at the time. She was looking for a job.
Yeah, I heard about that.
Yeah, it was like, put this in your bank account and take this money out for yourself and then mail the rest to the Philippines or some shit. The check came
Yeah,
from
that
10
sounds
states.
like that. I heard. I don't know if it's the same thing, but that might actually be a scam.
It was totally a scam. I mean, I worked at a bank 10 years ago or something. I looked at it, I was like, this is fake. It was like, are you sure? Take it to the check cash.
So, like, have you ever heard of the Ibu tribe?
I have not.
It's like this tribe in like Nigeria. There's this like one book that's like really hard to find, called like Ibos, Hebrew exiles, like in Africa. It talks about like how like a lot of the missionaries removed like a lot of the things like pertaining to their history, like from like where they were like living.